Welcome to another edition of the Mediatwits. I'm Mark Glazer, Executive Editor of PBS Media Shift. On this week's show, we'll be talking about Medium, the new platform and publishing system founded by Ev Williams and Biz Stone, came from Twitter and Blogger previously. A lot of big-name writers have made their way to Medium. It's a beautiful, beautiful platform. And David Carr of the New York Times just wrote a really nice piece talking about what Medium means to writers, what its future might hold, and how it stacks up against other publishing platforms. So today we'll be discussing Medium, how far it's gone, and where it's going to be going in the future. Before we get into the discussion, I want to introduce our panel this week. We have Fanny Cohen, our Mediatwits producer. We have Felix Salmon, Senior Editor at Fusion. We have Kate Lee, who is an editor at Medium and works on the content side in New York. And Rachel Sklar, founder of The List, and previously has been on Mediatwits in its audio incarnation. So first let's talk to Kate a little bit about what Medium, where it's been and where it's going. You came came out of like a literary agent background, especially working with bloggers. What do you think Medium offers for writers now, and what do you think the potential is?
Yeah, first of all, thank you for having me. I did, as you said, I did come from a literary agency where I was for 10 years prior to joining Medium in November of 2012. And it's been really fun just being here and also to see how it's grown and morphed and changed, some in ways that we could imagine and some in ways that we couldn't. But I think it offers a number of things to writers. Perhaps just the most obvious, purely from a visual perspective, is it's a beautiful place to write. Your words are highlighted. Your words are paramount. The message that you're getting across is what the platform is meant to highlight. It's not a place where you necessarily have to worry about branding and picking a theme and all of those things that other more customizable platforms allow you. It's also a way to speak to people, as a writer, to speak to people without necessarily having to have your own home, your own separate website where you're constantly trying to get people to come to you and the marketing that entails and the promotion, where because of our various distribution algorithms, you are more able to say what you want to say, speak your mind, and then it's published on Medium versus on markglazer.com. It also certainly allows a place to test ideas and to hone ideas. We have a commenting system that allows you to annotate at the word level, and you can share drafts. I mean, one of Ev's really fundamental ideas is that people write better together, and that there's a collaboration system built into the platform so that you can share drafts prior to publishing. You can get comments from friends and colleagues, and really use it to hopefully improve your writing.
Yeah, and you have one such group called The Message, where it's really kind of top name people who are doing. How does that work with them? There's kind of this group of people, and they're writing posts, and are they doing it? How are they working collaboratively?
The Message has been a really fun experiment. We started it a little over a month ago. There are 12 writers in the group, and we specifically built it, my colleague Evan Hansen and I specifically built it to enable and encourage collaboration. Some of those tools are on the site, as in leaving notes and things like that, and a lot of that collaboration actually happens off-platform. So what they do is they each write 2 posts a month, although they can write more, but we try to have one every weekday, 5 days a week. And then they share drafts with the whole group. We have a threadable email channel. They share drafts with the group prior to publishing. People offer comments. And then they also can write response posts or respond in notes. And it's just to sort of jury rig a little bit more collaboration.
Yeah, it's interesting. And it's an interesting group of people, and their posts are really fascinating. Rachel, you've written a bit on Medium and on other platforms as well. What is the draw for you as a writer, as someone who writes on a lot of platforms. What's the draw? What do you think are some of the good things, and what are maybe some things that could be improved?
Sure. So I actually have a collection. The list has a collection on Medium, so it's been the focus of a lot of my attention for the past 2 months. But initially, what drew me to Medium was just what Kate said. Basically, is that it's a beautiful CMS. It looks great. So the physical manifestation, the visual manifestation of what you put out there looks fantastic. There isn't any sort of link baity stuff around it like you might see on other sites where you might upload your free content. And it just was, it felt like a place where good writers congregate. And I think a lot of that is due to the initial strategy where Medium sort of solicited some top name writers to write there to signify that this was a place where the intelligentsia hung out and where smart people parked their thoughts. And obviously I want in on that. Then that rubs off on me, and I feel like I look even smarter. And so I was like, done, I'm in. I posted my first post on Medium actually just over a year ago. It was last May. And it was I had some thoughts on the Mindy project that I felt I had to share on how subversive and sexy it was, and Mindy Kaling as the center of it, as a non-white leading lady. And it was just a perfect place to put it, because the visual, like, you can post fantastic visuals and engage people in the comments, and so it feels very fluid after you do it. So after the post, you get a lot of feedback, and so through comments and that sort of thing. So I just kept on posting there very, very randomly, and then obviously I've known Kate for many years, since her heyday as the blogger star-making agent, and so we were in touch about my post on Medium. She would facilitate sending things out, and she approached me about having a list collection, and it's been terrific. I'm happy to talk more about that.
So has she made you a star yet?
She's been working on it a long time.
So Felix, I want to ask you a question about this, because we keep hearing that Medium has a little bit of an identity problem, in that, is it a publisher, by choosing this high quality material, or is it a platform? Because, as Rachel said, it's not known for listicles and, link bait, but it's open to anyone. I mean, I could just start putting a lot of link bait in there, but I'm guessing the algorithm would keep me from being noticed or something. I mean, do you think that's an issue for it right now?
I have been reasonably impressed at Medium's ability to maintain what you might call a strategic vagueness around this sort of publisher versus platform thing. That they're deliberately not answering the question, and they're doing it pretty well. And clearly, they want to be. They are a platform. Anyone can publish. Anyone with a Twitter account can publish anything they like on it. And so, in that sense, it's full of, it's a platform-like thing which is full of user-generated content. But they also, have people like Kate have been putting a lot of effort into trying to get really good stuff up there. And I think what that's done, and also there's ways that the CMS works. It is a great platform and a great CMS for writing slightly meatier, slightly longer form, not medium length, not 150 words, not necessarily 150,000 words. No one's reading a book on Medium. No one's there's no sort of mechanism to save bookmark something and come back and continue reading, where you left off.
That's where the name came from, Medium. It's really medium.
So it's good for sort of, medium length, sort of long form, first person. You can put in beautiful photos. You have to have a headline. the way the CMS works is it forces you to put effort into what you're writing, and it encourages you to collaborate with other people to make it even better. And so it's emphasizing quality over quantity. And so what it doesn't do is encourage just a quick reblog like Tumblr does, or a quick, random thought like Twitter does, or a quick photo like Facebook or Instagram does. It wants something meatier, and it's succeeded, I think, in getting those meatier posts. And that, of course, makes it harder to scale because not everyone has the ability to write long, meaty posts and work out clever headlines for them and all of that kind of thing. So, I doubt it's ever going to reach the kind of scale that something like Twitter has. But for what it is, I think it's a great way of being able to produce this kind of writing.
And so Fanny was actually just going and writing something on Medium while you were talking, and it is really simple and easy to use. But the product obviously looks really good. And David Carr in his piece talked about CMS, as we've been talking about, the content management system. I don't think anybody really talks about that very much, other than the truly geeky people. That it's Destiny content management system. I mean, is that really true? I mean, does it really matter what you use to put your words down on paper?
I wrote a piece when Vox Media bought Curbed Network, which is Curbed and Eater and Racked. I wrote a long piece about the primacy of the CMS and how the CMS is king. I completely agree with David on that one. That Vox Media has an amazing CMS called Chorus. Medium has an excellent CMS. It's not quite as it doesn't have quite the same amount of versatility. It's more sort of stripped down. But in many ways that's a good thing. Previous successful publishers have in large part succeeded because they had very good CMSs. Even Rachel's former employer, the Huffington Post, had at the time an absolute state-of-the-art CMS, and that was one of the big reasons why it succeeded and rival publishers didn't. So, yeah, I think Medium has one of the best CMSs out there right now. It's constantly improving. It's staying ahead of the pack, and that's a massive competitive advantage for them.
Kate, do you want to respond to Felix's comment about you being kind of vague about whether you're a publisher or platform? I mean, it seems like at a startup, it's good to be vague just because you never know which way things will go as a business.
That's for sure, and just being at a startup, which I know, Felix, I don't know the status of Fusion in terms of size, but Rachel also knows, things change all the time, and things that you thought you were, certain things you thought maybe a year ago are not the case now, or simply just in terms of usage and how things have, how our users have used the product. That also, of course, helps inform us. I think there's no question that Medium is a platform because it's meant for anyone to sign up and write and share their thoughts. I mean, there is no one here in New York or in San Francisco saying who can or cannot sign up, who can or cannot write. That is not for us to say. We do not censor. It is open. Do we want people to feel like they can come on and really publish their thoughts, whether it is a rant or something more substantial or thoughtful? Absolutely. But I don't think, at least from what I've learned from being within a tech company in the past year and a half, that the desire to pin down what we are, that seems to come out of the media or journalistic world, are you a platform or are you a publisher, does not seem to really sort of affect or resonate with sort of where we feel we are as a tech company and where what the thinking is in San Francisco.
Okay, fair enough. Hunter Walk had an interesting take where he said, he thought Medium was for the 9% on the web, that the 1% are posting on WordPress and creating their own site. the 9%, don't want to have to create their own site and want something kind of built for them. And then the other 90% just will use Tumblr or something to just curate or use social media or something. One thing he said is, he loved the beauty of it. He loved the really good articles, but once he ran into something that was poor quality, it just changed his whole feeling about Medium. And so that's kind of the difficult part, is that it's great to say, yeah, anybody can publish here, but what happens when, if it is overrun with a lot of things that just aren't the quality that you're looking for?
Sure, that's what being a platform is about. I certainly don't agree with everything that everyone writes, or my editor hat wants to get on and correct typos and say, oh, this lead could be stronger and all of that, but that's not my job here, and that's not anyone's job here. It's not to sort of.
You have corrected my
typos.
typos.
I have done for both of you, actually. I mean, look, it's. I certainly hear where Hunter's coming from, and certainly some of the things that we're working on is that when you come to Medium and you are logged in, you have signed up for a profile and you are logged in, you are seeing things based on your prior behavior and based on things that you indicate as you click on them. You are seeing things that are tailored to you. So the goal is that, yes, poor quality XYZ hopefully will not be reaching your eyes. That's something we're sort of constantly working on. Discovery is clearly the holy grail for all networks. And so, but I think the thinking is, of course, is that it doesn't take away that person's right to say whatever they want to say.
I think, too, that it's, really Hunter Walk has not encountered a crap piece of content on any other site ever, any other platform. I mean, I think that, that's not quite enough. If he was so disillusioned from that one poor piece of of writing, I don't really know what to say about that. Maybe I'm just jaded because I have been on all of the platforms. It's certainly, I've seen a lot of crap across my desktop or my screen, on Tumblr, on HuffPo, on Twitter. I mean, you don't want to get me started about Twitter, certainly on Facebook, but it's more about, for me as a writer, I love just being able to park my thoughts there so much more than I have on any of those other platforms. And as a media person, I am watching with interest sort of the way it has become a collector's lane for a lot of people, and yet the sort of the lesser quality content that does kind of bubble up on other sites, it's kind of hard to get to it. You have to want to, and so that's a double-edged sword of discoverability that Kate was talking about. Because things can be recommended, but you have to click on them, and they're recommended only through words. So there's not the automatic clickbait of the sort of like bikini slideshow that is the sort of the classic imagining of what clickbait is, and you can see how long the read is and all that stuff, but on discoverability it cuts both ways, because I'll put something out there and then I have to work to actually get it out there. It has to be shared. I can't just rely on it being in the Medium network to get to people, and I think that is actually a smart move on their part, because it is cutting down on the noise considerably, whereas at other sites I've worked at, certainly at Mediaite, when we put stuff out there was no real sense of like, oh, we want to just keep this under wraps. Like, it was out there and as discoverable as anything else, and I just do think that that's an interesting strategy, one that as someone who's publishing on Medium and keen to get get our traffic up, is sometimes frustrating, but I definitely see the wisdom of it just in terms of keeping the noise factor down.
But doesn't it mean, Rachel, that Medium is good for people like ourselves who have relatively large Twitter followings and have the ability to get other people in media to broadcast links and generally do that kind of thing, whereas if you're just someone who's written something amazing and you're based in Arkansas, someone you don't know a bunch of important people in the media, and you don't have a lot of followers on Twitter, your amazing writing is just never going to be found.
here's the thing. I have plenty of stuff on my Medium trove that has gotten, like a paltry few hundred clicks. I do think the good stuff does rise, and it is actually, I'm always amazed as soon as I publish something from me, from Glynis McNichol, my co-founder, or anything that we publish from other writers, like inevitably in under a minute, Kate has liked it or recommended it or somehow responded to it. So they do see the stuff that comes through.
So we have this unfair advantage over everyone else.
No, but my point is that I have written stuff that has died, and it's because it wasn't that good, and that's fine. I can say that. I do think that good stuff does rise on the platform, but there's no. I've worked hard for my platform. I've worked hard to build a reputation as being someone who is worth reading. And I think it is okay that I can use that platform now, and that as part of me tweeting something out or sharing something that I've written, that people will expect that I would have put a de minimis amount of effort and time into it. I think it's okay to provide a platform for other people to similarly build that reputation and build that brand.
I'm curious.
Do you think you can build a brand on Medium? Because it seems to me that Medium is where you point people to after you've built that brand. It's hard to follow someone on Medium. It's hard to get any kind of real sort of forward momentum on Medium, and for the time being, I think.
I've discovered plenty of writers. A great example, by the way, is Shanley. I don't even know what Shanley's real name is. Shanley came from nowhere to me. I didn't know her from anywhere but Medium, and I started seeing posts that she would write. She wrote about microaggressions. She writes furiously, and she's like the Larry Kramer of misogyny in tech. She has that powerful voice. I don't know what Shanley was doing beforehand. I have discovered her 100% through Medium, and now she's gone on and used the traction she built on her posts at Medium to launch Model View Culture. By the way, I guess I should disclose, the list, our collection, we get paid by Medium, so it's obviously useful to me to be saying positive things, and hopefully, that Kate will continue to support me. But I think we all know that that's a grain of salt. But I'm not being paid by Medium to say that it's good. But the fact that I'm using it and putting effort into it, that is proof that I think it is good.
Is there room for me to step in, or are you going to ask a question, Mark?
No, go right ahead. Please step in.
Sure. I just wanted to say, all of the things that certainly that Felix has discussed and Rachel discussed about distribution and are things we're working on. I mean, the reality is that, first of all, we're a young network. We've been in existence we launched in beta in August of 2012. So a little over a year and a half. We don't have, BuzzFeed launched in 2006, which most people don't remember because it only really came into awareness in about the past 2 years in a fantastic way. So I think that's something to remember, is just that we're young. Secondly, just in sort of speaking about the Hunter walk and the cream rising to the top, we do think that our system allows for the cream to rise to the top. The other thing is that we've seen that the community sort of polices itself. So if there is a post that you find disreputable, most likely you're not the only person who has found that post disreputable, and there will be 10 other posts on Medium that seek to say why that post is wrong. And you see this response. It is not anyone here saying we need a counter response or we need to find someone. It's just the community kind of acts that way on their own. And that's been something really interesting to see.
Thanks, Kate. We appreciate you coming on from Medium to explain that, and we will continue to follow the evolution of Medium as it changes and pivots and more writers get involved with it. I want to thank our entire panel for coming on the show today. Fanny Cohen, our Mediatwits producer, Felix Salmon from Fusion, Rachel Sklar from The List, and Kate Lee from Medium. You can follow us and catch us each Friday at Mediashift at mediashift.org. Thanks, everyone, and hope you all have a great week.